Texas, the highly efficient courier Penguin Logistics, is likely one of the most useful vanguards and one of the most beloved characters within the Arknights universe. But behind her efficient neutralization techniques, who's the person underneath? What is the shared past between her and Lappland that she wants to avoid as it catches up to her? What converted her from the cold killer of the Siracusa Mafia to the reserved, effective courier she is today? I will note that with the current information on her backstory, much of what I'm about to tell you is purely speculation and may include some false information. This is Texas's backstory, and without further ado, let's get started. Starting off, Texas was born into the majorly renowned Texas family. Though the specific location of where they resided is unknown, it's safe to say through her time in the same mafia syndicate as Lappland that they resided in Siracusa. I made a correction in the Lappland video that this is not Syracuse, Italy, but rather the region located between Casdell, Lithuanian, and Laterano, as you can see on the map I have posted on the screen, which is relatively close to the city of Lungman, the primary location for much of the main storyline of Arknights. Given the Texas family name's prestige, it can be assumed that Texas led a rather prestigious life and eventually got bored, wanting something more, something that gave her a rush, something that her family ties could never give her. This would lead her to live a life of getting into trouble where she could, possibly getting into fights, given Lappland's description of the old Texas, which would be comparable opposite to her current reserved self. All this would lead up to her eventually joining the Siracusan Mafia, where she met Lappland. Now, as I've mentioned before, Texas and Lappland were partners, and they made an extremely effective team carrying out their duties as members of the Mafia, so much so that Texas herself gained quite the reputation within the Siracusan Mafia. Seeing as how she only views weapons as a tool for killing, along with Lappland's desire to bring back the old Texas, along with the supposed suppressed wrath kept dormant with her past, it can be implied that Texas used to be a ruthless killer, one whose foes would never escape her blade. I believe this would make her a high-value target, which is why I have a theory that this reputation is possibly what led to the Texas family's massacre, and given the feud between her and Lappland, it's possible that it was by the hands of her or another unknown rival. The reason I present the theory that Lappland may be responsible for the Texas family's massacre is a scar on Lappland's left eye, which was inflicted by Texas in a fight between her and Lappland. Additionally, it's safe to say that these events led to her breaking off from the Mafia, relocating to Lungman, and eventually finding a new family and occupation within Penguin Logistics. Through the career Texas made for herself at Penguin Logistics, she slowly became a more reserved, neutral soul, and albeit through much effort on the latter party, eventually became friends with fellow courier and marksman Exia. And to this day, Texas and Exia seem to be close friends, though from Exia's perspective, it's a lot of work to maintain and get through to Texas. This new life, however, becomes intertwined with part of her past when Lappland joins up with Rhodes Island, whom Penguin Logistics is contracted to. Though the theory that Lappland is responsible for the massacre is just that, a theory, Texas still makes a passive effort to avoid her while Lappland enjoys her company. Since the events in Texas's past aren't confirmed, it's hard to tell what actually happened that caused Texas to want to distance herself from Lappland. Possibly because of a fight, given her trading buff feud, or because Lappland reminds Texas of her past. Who knows? Whatever the reason, Texas is confident that her shady past will eventually catch up to her, and she plans to face such disturbance with a headstrong mind, confident that it won't interfere with her new life. However, if such an event does disrupt her present life, or worse, endangers her friends, God forbid what demon lies within her to be unleashed. Now, there does remain one last question. How did Exia and Texas end up becoming friends? What is Exia's side of the story? Does she also have a past that her and Texas relate to? Story continues. And that's about it. So if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more Arknights lore videos, be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. If any of you have an operator you'd like me to do a video on, aside from the foreshadowed next operator, leave comments in the comment section below and I'll be sure to check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and tune in next time when I find myself cornered by an angry wolf woman who got bullied out of her lunch money.